In 2017, under then CEO Mark Parker and with the support of then CFO Andy Campion, Nike was already a giant, pulling in $34.4 billion in revenue, with earnings per share jumping 16%. That year's shareholder letter revealed something crucial. Connected consumers now expected premium experiences delivered faster and more personally. Nike's digital investments were driving rapid e-commerce growth, and Nike.com had expanded to more than 45 countries. The company saw a clear path forward: get closer to customers and sell more products through Nike-owned channels. That belief had a practical edge. Nike launched multiple new retail formats and apps in 2017 and 2018, including the SNKRS app, all designed to strengthen direct selling as part of what became known as the Consumer Direct Offense strategy. These were not side projects. Concepts like House of Innovation, Nike Rise, and Nike Live became the new front door. Nike's message about speed and personalization aligned perfectly with expanding Nike.com to more than 45 countries, both targeting the same goal: meeting customers in the moment, not later. Nike also leaned hard into membership. The company launched the Nike Plus membership program in 2017, offering early access to products through channels like the SNKRS app and personalized experiences. Around this time, CFO Matt Friend said the company had a history of consumer-focused shifts that had ignited the next phase of long-term growth. Nike believed that if more customers chose Nike's own channels, the company would capture more profit per sale. The decisive move came in 2017 when Nike significantly slashed its wholesale retail partners, cutting ties with Big Five, Dunham's, Urban Outfitters, Dillard's, Zappos, and others, as it pushed harder into direct-to-consumer sales through the Consumer Direct Offense. Direct-to-consumer means selling through Nike's own stores, websites such as Nike.com, and apps like Sneakers, rather than mainly through other retailers. Nike could have kept broad retail distribution while slowly growing its direct channels, but instead chose a faster shift toward its own network. This wasn't a small trim around the edges. By September 2021, under new CEO John Donahoe, Nike's CFO Matt Friend revealed the company had exited about 50% of its retail partners since 2017. In March 2021, reports showed Nike informed 6 retailers they would be cut off from Nike supply, including Big Five, designer brands, Dunham's, Shoe Show, and Urban Outfitters. Nike was narrowing the channel deliberately, aiming to concentrate demand into Nike Direct and its digital ecosystem, while reducing reliance on multi-brand shelves. In the first phase, the results supported the logic. Chief Financial Officer Matt Friend later said this shift created new operating capabilities, added tens of millions of new members, and produced over $12 billion in incremental revenue. In fiscal 2018, Nike brand sales through Nike Direct grew 12% to $10.4 billion. Digital sales were a key driver, rising 25% that year, with the SNKRS app becoming a major membership driver. The early scorecard looked simple: fewer middlemen, more direct demand, and a fast-growing direct engine. The economics also looked better in reported margins. In the fourth quarter of fiscal 2018, Nike said gross margin rose 60 basis points to 44.7%, driven largely by margin expansion in Nike Direct. Gross margin represents the share of revenue left after the direct cost of making and delivering the product. Nike was also paying to build the machine. Operating overhead expense rose 14% that same period, reflecting investments in operations and capabilities needed for its Consumer Direct Offense push. Those investments were meant to support a different kind of growth. Nike's 2017 view was that connected consumers expected faster and more personal service, and expanding Nike.com to more than 45 countries was a way to deliver at scale. the membership layer helped make that personal, because Nike Plus and the Sneakers app were designed to pull customers into Nike-owned experiences with early access and personalization. Put together, the logic was that Nike could sell more directly, learn faster from data, and keep more value per sale. Nike built physical and digital touchpoints simultaneously, trying to make direct selling feel like a premium service, not just a checkout page. The company launched new retail formats including House of Innovation, Nike Rise, and Nike Live, and multiple apps including Sneakers in 2017 and 2018 as part of that build-out. Nike was expanding Nike.com to more than 45 countries, while digital investments propelled rapid e-commerce growth. The trade-off we see was that building that system required both reach and control, and Nike chose to concentrate on control. Fiscal 2019 reinforced the story. Nike reported revenue of $39.1 billion, up 7%, with growth across major regions including North America and Greater China. Nike Direct digital sales grew 35% year-over-year in fiscal 2019, with Sneakers contributing significantly to membership growth. When we look at this period, the model is easy to see. Membership and apps pull demand in, direct channels sell at more full price, and a higher full price mix supports margins. The logic also rested on scale and momentum. CFO Matt Friend said the shift added tens of millions of new members and delivered over $12 billion in incremental revenue. In fiscal 2018, Nike Direct grew 12% to $10.4 billion, and digital sales rose 25%. Those results encouraged CEO John Donahoe to keep pushing in the same direction, especially after Nike reported a gross margin of 44.7% in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2018, with a 60 basis point improvement tied to Direct. The story was consistent: direct growth, membership growth, and better economics. The trade-off showed up later, following a predictable pattern. Analysts noted that Nike's consumer direct offense lost some customers, allowed rival brands like On Running, Hoka, and New Balance to gain prominence, and contributed to an inventory buildup. Reports showed Nike's share price fell roughly 50% from 2021 through 2022 amid these challenges. Shrinking the multi-brand shelf can reduce reach and create openings for competitors like On Running and Hoka to win space where many shoppers still browse. Inventory made the weakness visible. By late 2022, reports described a surplus of inventory and said Nike leaned on wholesale partners like Dick's Sporting Goods to clear product. Wholesale revenue rose 19% in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2022, after being flat. That reversal matters because it shows the system needed outside capacity to rebalance. Nike had exited about 50% of retail partners since 2017, making the remaining routes more important when conditions changed. The correction hints at a deeper channel reality. Analysts said the consumer direct offense push lost some customers and gave rivals like On Running, Hoka, and New Balance room to gain prominence, which combined with inventory buildup. The market reaction was severe. Nike's share price fell roughly 50% from 2021 through 2022. We can track how this unfolded. The company narrowed distribution to concentrate demand, then later needed wholesale capacity again when inventory built up, and the direct channel alone could not smooth the cycle. By 2023, Nike began adjusting under Chief Executive Officer John Donahoe. Reports said Nike quietly brought more wholesale partners back, with Macy's and designer brands resuming sales of Nike apparel in fall 2023. Foot Locker also spoke about a renewed Nike relationship. Nike's leadership acknowledged internal strain. In December 2023, the company announced a plan to cut up to $2 billion in costs, and Chief Financial Officer Matt Friend said the consumer direct offense strategy had added complexity and inefficiency to operations. The friction did not stop at costs. Reports noted wholesale partners placed fewer orders in some periods, and Nike's wholesale revenue declined at times, including down 2% in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2024. Observers said Nike may have misjudged how many customers still shop at multi-brand retailers and want choice in one place. That matters because Nike had spent years narrowing distribution, and rebuilding those relationships takes longer than exiting them. The point of no return arrived when performance made the debate unavoidable. In the third quarter of fiscal 2024, Nike reported total revenue was flat at $12.4 billion, and net income was down 5% to $1.2 billion. That same quarter, Nike direct sales were $5.4 billion, while wholesale sales were $6.6 billion, and Nike's digital sales fell 3%. Analysts at Wedbush said Nike's acceleration of direct-to-consumer was a mistake, and argued that the focus allowed competitors like On Running, Hoka, and New Balance to chip away at Nike's dominance. If you want more decisions with hidden trade-offs, subscribe. With new CEO Elliott Hill now reversing course, the lesson isn't that selling direct is wrong. The lesson is that distribution is a system, and systems strain when one channel gets pushed too far. Nike's 2017 Consumer Direct offense delivered real gains, including tens of millions of new members and more than $12 billion in incremental revenue, and it supported stronger economics like the 44.7% gross margin reported in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2018. Later, under Elliott Hill's leadership, Nike said the approach created complexity and inefficiency and launched a $2 billion cost-cutting plan while moving back toward wholesale partners like Macy's, Designer Brands, and Dick's Sporting Goods. It made sense until it did not. Subscribe for more calm trade-off stories.